Welcome back to Bizarre Gaming, you bunch of weirdos. Guys, PlayStation and IGN just dropped an insane 14-minute gameplay reveal trailer for Hogwarts Legacy, and Potterheads rejoice because this is the game we have been waiting for. We've got all the details you need to know wrapped up in today's video. If you're new, consider subscribing to the channel and getting notified. And if you dropped a like on this video, that would be brilliant. The industry should take notes, by the way, because this is how you reveal a game. Cinematic trailers are cool, but at this point, I appreciate being shown what the player will actually experience. They called this trailer the state of play, meaning this is what the gameplay looks like right now in the game's current state of development. And to be honest, it's looking really polished already. I did notice a few sound issues in some of the cutscenes that were shown, but it's nothing that can't be smoothed out later. Let's get right into it because this gameplay reveal gave us so much new information in terms of story, exploration, combat. We'll go over all of it starting at the beginning, where you get to customize your very own witch or wizard who's coming into Hogwarts pretty late. You're going to be joining the school as a 5th year, so you've got some catching up to do, which gameplay-wise is a pretty good idea. It justifies having to learn some of the more basic spells that most 5th years would probably already know by then. For example, in the trailer it shows you learning the Accio spell to bring objects closer to you, and it looks pretty weak to begin with, but later on in the trailer you see the player character using Accio super well in both combat and exploration. So it looks like you're going to get better at the spells over time. This game takes place in 1890, according to this newspaper clipping from the trailer, so that means there's no Harry Potter, no Voldemort, pretty much nobody that we know from the original books. Albus Dumbledore is around, but this is 2 years before his first year at the school, so we're probably not going to see him at all. There were some cameos from familiar ghosts in the trailer, like we got to see Nearly Headless Nick, Professor Binns, the History of Magic teacher, and even Peeves, the Poltergeist, which was really cool because we never saw him in the movies. Hopefully we get to make up for some lost time there. It's a nice blend of old and new. I like how this is separate from the books and following its own storyline, but they're still keeping the setting as familiar as they can. It's still Hogwarts, and even some of the locations here in the game are identical to the sets that they used in the movies, which is a pretty nice touch. As a student, you get sorted into your own house, you get to explore Hogwarts and Hogsmeade Village, you get to go to different classes like Defense Against the Dark Arts, Potions, Charms, Herbology. You can even be Newt Scamander and care for your own magical creatures. We see plenty of them here in the trailer, like Thestrals, Hippogriffs, which we see us riding at one point. You can even ride a broomstick for fast travel around the castle, which I feel is going to be pretty necessary because the Hogwarts school grounds look massive. But my favorite part about this reveal has to be the combat. The wizard duels look amazing, casting spell after spell, chaining combos, using Accio to bring enemies close, setting them on fire with Incendio, and then sending them off with a few stunning spells. It looks so satisfying. You can parry incoming enemy attacks, wrap up an enemy while you focus on another, block incoming spells, and then counterattack. This is insane. The flow of combat actually reminds me a lot of Jedi Fallen Order. Timing, dodging, parries, all look like it's going to be a factor, as well as certain spells countering others. Like you see here, an enemy's shield gets dropped by this slashing spell that the player does before finishing them off. You can boost your stats in combat using potions to make yourself stronger or more resilient in tough fights, and you can even use some of the magical plants at your disposal to help take out enemies. It looks really free-flowing. I can't wait to try it out. The game also seems to have a build-your-own-class system, where your student gets different talents and upgrades that more or less shape your playstyle. If you want to be more stealthy in your approach, you can upgrade your talents to match that, or if you prefer a more headstrong, jump right into the fight kind of playstyle, there are options for that too. This level of freedom was really not present in past Harry Potter games, even down to the exploration. Sure, you could kind of explore the castle a little bit, but it was way more linear and more about exploring the specific areas you were forced to be in. This appears, for lack of a better term, more open world, although I don't think it will be a true open world game. It's advertised as an action-adventure RPG, so again, very similar to Jedi Fallen Order in that sense. Narratively, this game has some really interesting beats already too. I do give the story team props for coming up with a compelling conflict that breaks the formula that we've gotten used to in the past. This isn't going to be a purely good wizards versus dark wizards kind of thing, although there are some dark wizards you have to fight, But the main issue here seems to be this goblin rebellion, being led by a goblin named Ranrock, who we see using this really powerful ancient magic in the trailer. It sounds like the goblins want to use this ancient magic to wipe out wizard kind, and we have to stop their plans using our ability to harness that same ancient magic. I'm all about it. This is pure lore, and it's a really interesting setup to a story. We do see in the books that goblins and wizards have a pretty tense relationship, and it looks like the game will explore some of that history, which is neat. As we go around the world, we meet other students and friends, we'll team up with a house elf, we even get a wacky sidekick in Professor Fig, who's interested in that ancient magic we're learning about. The trailer really seems to be setting the goblins up as the main villains, but if you ask me, I think it's a red herring. We're gonna go into it thinking they're the big bad until the real threat makes itself known later. Maybe it's gonna be this ancient magic itself. Who knows? That's just speculation on my part, but narratively, this game looks really interesting. I can't wait to jump into it and see what it's all about. It looks like the game can go in any direction, including the player character going bad. One of the last shots in the trailer is the player character casting the curse of Vada Kedavra. Blew my mind. I could not believe that's actually in the game. Hogwarts Legacy is dropping this winter, 2022. It's just months away, guys. I cannot wait for this game. If you guys are stoked for Hogwarts Legacy, give the video a thumbs up, drop a comment below letting me know what you're most keen and looking forward to in this game. This reveal trailer was insane. I encourage you to check out the full 14-minute trailer. It's well worth it. We're going to be posting a lot more Hogwarts Legacy content on this channel as time goes on, including more gaming content. So if you want to stay in the loop with everything that we put out, be sure you're subscribed and getting notified. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.